Albert King, the towering figure of blues music with a flying V guitar slung upside down and a voice as raw as heartbreak itself, is often celebrated for his influence on generations of guitarists and his soulful, searing tone. But behind the legendary licks and cool persona lies a story that is far darker than most fans ever realize, a life marked by poverty, discrimination, deep personal insecurities, and a battle to find recognition in a world that often overlooked the very artists it depended on. Born Albert Nelson in 1923 in Indianola, Mississippi, the same town as B.B. King, with whom he was often compared, Albert grew up in brutal poverty during the Jim Crow era. His family were sharecroppers, and from an early age, he knew the sting of hunger, racism, and back-breaking labor. Like many blues musicians of his generation, Albert turned to music as a means of survival, not stardom. He taught himself guitar playing with his left hand and upside-down stringing, which gave him a distinctive and aggressive sound. But despite his obvious talent, doors were slow to open. The blues world was already dominated by names like Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, and record labels were reluctant to take chances on newcomers, especially those who didn't conform to expected styles or personas. Albert's early career was filled with rejection and hardship. He struggled to book shows, was underpaid and exploited by club owners, and often had to drive hundreds of miles just to perform for small crowds. He recorded sporadically in the 50s with little success and spent years hustling to make ends meet, sometimes taking odd jobs to survive. His breakthrough didn't come until 1967 with the album Born Under a Bad Sign, a title that felt autobiographical. The record was a landmark, but even then, Albert never enjoyed the mainstream spotlight like some of his peers. As blues was eclipsed by rock, younger white musicians such as Eric Clapton and Stevie Ray Vaughan cited King as a key influence. But King himself often watched them reap the fame and fortune that he had fought his entire life for. While he appreciated their admiration, it was bittersweet. King knew his style had been borrowed and commercialized by others while he remained underappreciated and underpaid. Offstage, Albert was a complex and deeply guarded man. He was known to be short-tempered and suspicious of others, shaped by years of being let down by the industry and people he trusted. He battled with poor health, including diabetes and heart issues, later in life, and refused to fully open up about his personal struggles, even as they worsened. Despite his gruff exterior, those close to him described a man who carried deep emotional wounds, often masked by humor and bluster. In 1992, Albert King passed away from a heart attack at the age of 69, just 1 year after finally being inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame. Though his influence lives on in every string bend and soulful solo played by countless guitarists, the truth is that Albert King's journey was marked not just by genius but by pain, perseverance, and a quiet struggle against a world that rarely gave him the respect he truly deserved.